Mm.
You dey
The
follow
way we
God
dey thank
vex.
God, the way we dey will answer you.
I don't even know. God go understand. I don't just go.
Abeg o, even anything dey worry you, no vex. Try go church. If you go church, you go get yourself back.
All right, I go reason am.
Okay. Let
Thank
me
you.
just share my screen. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes.
Okay. So last week we talked about data cleaning intro, and we did some of the practicals on how to clean your data. We gave different scenarios on how to clean your data when you see stuff like that. So, and that last week I was like, we will look into an HR data that we have here to see if we can visualize it. But before then, I want to like give us some terms and conditions. Should I say terms and conditions? Or some do's and don'ts that you need to do, I mean that you need to know when analyzing the data and also when visualizing the data. So let's connect to get our data, our HR data. I sent it to the group chat last week. I don't know if we have downloaded it.
Honestly, I didn't notice that. Sorry.
Okay, it's on the group chat. Let me stop
Me.
sharing and I'll share again. Or I will
Can you
send it
quickly
to the,
resend, Victoria?
okay, I'll send it to the group
Yeah.
again. So let me send it. I've sent it to the group chat again.
Okay, thank you.
Let me share my screen again. So please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screens.
Okay, so this is our HR data set. So yeah, no, so what's the next thing that I'm supposed to do? Should I load the data directly into Power BI desktop or I should transform the data?
What I'm still seeing at my end is something like what's it called? PowerPoint presentation or slide.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you see my Power BI screen now?
not yet.
So can you see it now?
Yes, yes, I can see it now.
Okay, I say what's the next step that I'm supposed to do now? Now that we've gotten our data from Excel workbook.
Yeah, I think we transform it to see if there's need for us to print it.
Okay. So we are loading it into Power Query. So can you see my screen? Can you see my Power Query editor screen
Yes,
interface?
yes, I can see it.
Okay. So these are our HR data sets, and we have our employee name, our employee ID, the salary for each employee, their position, their state. We have their date of birth. We have their sex, whether they are male or female, to know. We have their marital status or their marital description. We have their race description, because it's like a big company data set. We have the date of hire, the day that they hired them. We have their date of termination, and we also have their term of reason why they terminated them, or why they left the job. We have their employment status, and we also have their department. We have their manager name. We have their recruitment source. How were they recruited into the company? Is it via LinkedIn, Indeed, Google search, or we have their performance scores, how they've been behaving um in their organization. So basically that's what we have in the HR data set. And last week, when we met last week, I also told us that we have different data sets, that as a data analyst, when anybody brings a data to you, you should study that particular data to know how that particular data is before you can work on that particular data. Because the way you are going to work on a HR data is different from the way you will work with a sales data. So before we start doing justice to this particular HR data, I have some slides that I want to share with us. I have some slides that I want to share with us. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, please. Numbers speak for themselves.
Okay. So there's this argument that people normally have. They'll be like, number speaks for themselves. How people used to say that, and a picture speaks 1,000 words. Like, if you see my picture now, you'll just be like, look at her, she's looking so pretty, she's very beautiful. Because of what you've seen, you just conclude that I'm doing just fine. So I want to throw this question to the house now, that does numbers speak for themselves? All these numbers here, can you tell if they speak for themselves? So the class will be more interactive today because we have a whole lot to do. So we need to understand all these basics before we go into the HR data analysis proper.
Yes, I think numbers speak for themselves because it is very clear and evident. It's not 30,005. It's not like the first one that says 30,500. So it's not 30,000 ABC or 231. So it's clear that the value is 30,500. There's nothing that's been subtracted from it, or there's no error or any issues that would make it not reflect as 30,500.
Okay, thank you, Chisom. Ianu, what's your own opinion? Do you think that numbers speak for
Yes,
themselves?
I think I subscribe to what she said, because to me, number is just like fact. It is
Yeah.
subjective, something you see. There's nothing you could say to prove it wrong, whether this is not number or something like that. So I think they speak for themselves.
Okay. So you are telling me that this particular number speak for themselves. Okay. So no wahala. So this is the same number. It's the same number. So this particular number now, numbers speak for themselves. There's another question, but this particular number is salary. it is attached to a concept that is salary. This one's, it was just on its own, asking us if numbers speak for themselves. And from our own opinion, we said that yes, the number speaks for themselves. But for me, I'm of a school of thought that I cannot just see this number like this and say it speaks for itself, because there should be a context why you are saying that this number speaks for itself. Like this number now, you have 30,500. You know now, if you want to, like a layman language, you say 30,500 is greater than 35,000 naira. You know that 35,000 naira is greater than 56,300 naira. But this particular and slide, this particular number is attached to something, is salary, and is telling you that this particular number speaks for itself because it is attached to a particular concept, like it's attached to salary, and you can use it to perform an analysis. But this particular one, you cannot use it to perform any analysis or carry out any aggregate function on these particular numbers because they are not attached to anything. They are just, it's just like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 100, and you'll be like, it speaks for itself. So once you want to do the analysis of that particular number, what are you going to tell your audience that you are analyzing it based on? So for me, when numbers are speaking for themselves, they should have a particular concept that they are being attached to. Like these particular numbers, now we know that it is salaries of different people in an organization. We have John, his salary is 30,500. We have Godson Blessing, her salary is 35,500. We have Collins Peter, his salary is 56,300. We have Mary Michael, and her salary is 105,000, like that. So if you see something like this, you can be able to tell that this number is speaking for itself because it is salary of a particular employees or employee's salary in a particular company. So you can use this data like this to perform an analysis, to be like, maybe someone just give you this particular data now and say, please, can you please just help me analyze? So I want to know the person that earns the highest salary in this particular company. You get? So from here now, you can be able to do the analysis. And when you do the analysis, you just find out that Osas Nelson is the person that earns more than every other person in that particular company. So when we are talking about numbers, we should know that numbers speaks for themselves when they are attached to a particular concept. You cannot just see any number like this one and say it speaks for itself without giving the particular concept why this number is speaking for itself. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So looking at these numbers now, you can tell that if somebody give you this kind of, let me just say somebody gives you this raw data and be like, please just help me visualize it. You know, if you ask me that in 5 seconds, tell me the person that earns the highest salary, I'll be looking for, I'll say 30,500, 35,000. Before I will get to the 1.5, my time has already gone. So when you visualize it like this, what is all this thing? So when you visualize it like this, you can be able to tell that Osas Nelson is the one that earns the highest salary in my company, or is the one that earns more than the whole employee. I mean, is the one that earns more than the whole employee in that particular company. So you can be able to tell because what these particular numbers are tied to a particular concept, which is salary. I cannot come and give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 10, and then I'll ask you that, can these numbers speak for themselves? When there's nothing attached to it or nothing at all that you can use to like tell that this particular number speak for itself. So let's always have it at the back of our minds that when dealing with numbers, you should have a particular concept that that number is tied to before you can say that that particular number speak for itself. It's just like I send my picture to, or maybe you see my picture somewhere, and because you have seen my picture, you'll be like, this is perfect. She's looking very pretty. Or maybe I don't know what someone might be going through, but when I see the person picture, I'll just say like, this person is doing just fine because I've already seen the picture. I've already concluded that the person is doing fine. Whether the person edited the picture or the person did not edit the picture, that one is not my business again. In my own conclusions, I've already said that I've already seen that that person is doing just fine. So from this tiles that we have here, we can tell that Osas Nelson earns more than all of them working in this organization. And if you look at it in 1 second, you can tell from this analysis, I mean from these tiles that is here. If you look at the picture immediately, you can tell. And that is the main essence of visualization. Once you are visualizing your data, if you have raw data like up to like 10,000 raw data, and someone you now start looking for SaaS that ends 1.5 million, it will take your whole time. So sorry, network logged me out. So please, where did I stop?
Visualization.
Okay, let me share my screen. Then visualization. Visuals allows you to share data insights more effectively, like I said. Like this particular tiles that I was able to like give a pictorial presentation about the salary of a particular company. You may you looking at it like this, you can tell that Osas Nelson earns more than everybody in that particular organization. So that is the most important part of visuals. It allows you to share data insight more effectively because everybody can be able to see it and they will connect with it very well. And then effective visualization helps your user connect and interact with the information. Yes, that is when you have a good visualization after analyzing your data, and then you visualize it. It will help your end users to connect with it and to interact with it with the information. They don't need to come and start asking you that who earns the highest salary in this particular organization, because men looking at it, you can tell that Nelson earns the highest salary in that particular organization. So effective visualization helps your users to connect and interact with the information. Then visuals are used for 4 things. 1, they are used to analyze. 2, they are used to communicate. 3, they are used to monitor a particular information. And 4, they are used to plan. When you say you want to analyze, it will help you to dig deep and discover the message. As we go forward in our classes, maybe when we start visualization proper, like practical works like that, we'll start seeing of how we can dig deep into some visuals or into some ties to get insights and to discover more message about that particular tiles. as time goes on, and when we go into that properly, we are going to see it. Then visuals are also used to communicate. You are using it to pass the message across to your audience for them to be able to see that this particular thing, they don't need to start struggling, or they don't need to start straining their eyes to know that Osas Nelson earns the highest salary in this particular company, and John is the least person and he earns 30,500. So you don't need to start asking that who earns the highest or the lowest salary in this particular company. With your visuals, you can able to see it, and you can be able to tell your audience without them even asking you too many questions. So you're using it again to pass information to your audience, to pass message to them about a particular something. They can communicate with it without you even being there talking about it. They can see it and they will know that this is what this particular message is talking about. Then we also use visuals to monitor, that to track information. There are some companies that you will go, they have a tracker that they will use, like a tracker dashboard that they will use to track the time people are coming to the office, the numbers of time that they've worked, for them to be able to like collect everything. Maybe when they want to pay them their salaries, maybe if they are paying per hour, stuff like that. So without visuals, they can also use it to monitor and track information from their employee. And we can also use visuals to plan. You can use it to plan, you can use it to predict and prepare. You can use it to predict about the future, and you can also use it to prepare. So that is the 4 things that visuals are used for. They are used to analyze. You can use it to like dig deep, like we have the drill through in a visualization. When we want to start visualization properly on the practical aspects, we are going to see it. We have the 2T that you can use to like dig information about one particular chart or one particular visual that you are working with, and you'll not be wondering that so this particular task has a lot of information in it. So with your visuals, you can use it to dig deep and discover more messages and information about that particular visual that you are working with. You can also use it to communicate, to pass message to your audience. You don't even need to talk. Once you have a good visualization, your visualization will be what to speak for you. Once immediately your audience sees what you are presenting to them, they can be able to communicate with it. Like I said, we can also use it to monitor, that is track information from our employee, or there's a particular thing that we want to track information about. We can use our visuals to do that. We can also use it to predict and plan for the future, to predict about what is going to happen in future, and we can also use it to prepare. So it's very, very interesting. Visualization is very, 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 very interesting. So am I too fast? Oh,
Not at all.
okay. So, but do you understand?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, So we have another slide before us. Understand your data. In data analysis, there are 2 types of data. We have the categorical data and the quantitative data. The categorical data, they are everything but the numbers. They are everything but the numbers. Then the quantitative data, they are just the numbers. They are just the numbers. The categorical data, they are everything in your data set but the numbers. Then the quantitative is just the numbers. So let me take us back to our Power Query editor. So we have our employee ID, we have our employee name, we have our employee salary, we have the position, we have the state, and we have the zip code. So Iyanu, please, from what I just explained, that we have 2 types of data. We have the categorical and the quantitative part of data. Can you tell us from this particular data, from this particular column that I want to call employee name, employee ID, the salary and position. Can you tell us the categorical data there?
I think employee name and positions.
Employee names and what?
Positions.
Okay. What about Chisom? Is she still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Still employee names and positions. So that's more like qualitative data. Yeah.
Qualitative or categorical?
Oh yeah. Like I'm just saying like a similar word to use. So is anything words and not numbers.
Okay. What about the employee ID and the zip code?
Let me look at the specific ID.
Look at the zip code. And this is the employee ID. This is the employee ID.
I'm still seeing the presentation.
You cannot see my Power BI screen.
No.
No, we can't see your Power BI screen. But
Can you
I
see
can
it now?
Not yet.
My
No.
network.
So the zip code is quantitative.
The zip code is quantitative. Okay. What about the employee ID?
The employee ID too is quantitative.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, the employee ID is quantitative. Okay.
Yeah.
But remember we said that. Okay, thank you. And Esther, please, are you in the class?
Yes, I am.
I'm going to drag
Good
you today.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, please, can you see my Power BI screen?
No, I'm seeing your slide.
I think this thing is network. Let me.
Are you
Okay,
sharing your
so-
entire screen?
Yes, I'm sharing my entire screen. Let me stop sharing and share again.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you see my Power Query screen?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
see.
Okay, so Esther, is it that's going to help us out? I
Okay.
said employee name, employee ID, salary, position, zip code. So you help us identify the categorical data and the quantitative data. You tell us why it's like that.
Okay. Just these five you mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, all of them except salary is categorical. So only salary is quantitative, and that is because we can perform aggregations using salary, that we can sum it, we can multiply, we can divide, and all of that. But for employee ID, it might seem as though it is quantitative, but we cannot sum up employee ID, neither can we sum up zip code. If we do that, it will not make sense. So the only column that we can sum up or we can perform aggregate functions on and it would make sense is the salary. So that's the reason why it's the only quantitative.
Thank you. So please, do you understand what she said?
Yes.
Okay. So employee ID is also categorical data. Position is categorical data. The state is categorical data. The zip code is also categorical data. The date of birth is categorical data. Like she said, because we cannot perform an aggregate functions on the zip code. We cannot start adding all the zip code together. We cannot multiply the zip code together to do any summation or multiplication on it. But we can sum up the total salary, to know the total salary that particular organization is paying to their employee. So everything here, the employee name, the employee ID, the position, the state, the zip code, the other dates, they are all categorical data apart from salary. Anything that you cannot perform an aggregate function on is not a quantitative data. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, well understood.
Okay. But for every categorical data, there is also a quantitative part of it. Like, for example, your employee ID. If you want to like perform an analysis on this particular employee ID, you can use the count, you can say the count of employee ID, like that. So there's always a part of a quantitative data in categorical data, like all these their counts. If we want to count them, because an employee ID is for one person. It's just like our matric number in school. Nobody have the same matric number, but you can meet somebody that will bear the same name as your name, exactly how you write, exactly your name. Like I know of someone that bears my 3 names like that. So that is it. So for the employee ID, you know that the employee ID is for one person and that particular person owns that employee ID, just like my matric number. My matric number might be different from the person that is bearing the same name with me. So for every categorical data, there is a quantitative part of it. For every categorical data, there is a quantitative part of it. Please, let's not forget it. For every categorical data, there is a quantitative part of it. So, are we good to go? Or should I explain again? Let's stop.
Yeah, we're
Because
good to go.
we need to understand all these stuffs, all these basics before doing any analysis. By the time you understand all this, the basics of all these, the basics of your data and visualization, by the time it comes to your analysis, it should not be hard again, because you will know your categorical data from your quantitative data. And even when you want to do even when you want to model your data, you still need to know your categorical data and your quantitative data for you to be able to do everything perfectly well. Then we have the categorical data relationship. We have the nominal, we have the ordinal, we have the intervals, and we have the hierarchy. Like for the nominal, for the categorical data relationship, it says no order, like a boy or a girl, a man or a human. You understand? So it can just be that is the categorical data relationship, the nominal, no order, a boy or a girl. You cannot say the boy should come first or the lady that you want to attend to first when you are dealing with when you want to like analyze a particular data. Then we have the ordinal, we have the natural order, like your 1, 2, 3, 4 down to 100. You know that you cannot just start your counting. It's not natural, like it's not normal for you to start your counting from 100 downwards. You understand? You know, it's just the natural order that any counting that you want to start, you start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And even the month, you cannot say you want to start new year from December. It's not normal. It's something that is already natural, that we know that begin the year with January, and it's like that, January, February, March, like that till December. Then we have the intervals. It ranges from different numbers like that. So these are just the categorical data relationship, the nominal, no order, like I gave example like a boy or a girl, a man or a woman, a female or a male. You know that there's no order for them. Then we have the natural order, like I said, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are natural. That's just the ordinal. They are natural. You cannot say you want to start doing something from 20 and bring it downwards. They are just natural order, except maybe the word changes or the new generation or the new word that will come. They will not say we start counting from 100 then to 1. stuff like that. Then we have the intervals. It ranges from different numbers like that. Then we have the hierarchy, the multiple relate category, like you are working with your employees, like your HRO data, and then you have from, let me just say, in an organization, we have the management staff, we have different categories of staffs like that, different departments. If you're in an organization, you know where you belong. You know that where management staffs are sitting, you cannot go and sit there because you have not gotten to that position yet. So for the categorical data relationship, we have the hierarchy of the way things are being arranged. So these are just the 4 categorical data relationship that we need to know. Then we also have, for the quantitative data relationship, we have the ranking, whereby maybe you are trying to do an analysis and you want to compare the values from the high to the low, like that. So you want to like you want to compare a particular value, like, should I say, okay, you want to like do an analysis of the sales that you've done from January to December. And maybe when you want to show a trend, we have different datas and different tiles that you can use when visualizing. Like if you want to visualize based on trends, you use the line chart. That's what you use. Maybe when you want to visualize based on trends, that's what you use. Use it to compare your values like that. Then we have the ratios, like the percentage, the share over 100. That is when you are working with your quantitative data relationship. Like when you want to like analyze a particular thing in your quantitative data. Basically, this is what you're supposed to do. You have the distribution. Maybe you want to should I say, maybe you want to distribute among the particular number. You start from the lowest to the highest. Then you have the relationship between 2 numbers, their direction and their shapes. So these are just the quantitative data relationship that we need to know, and we should always have it at the tip of our fingers when we are doing any analysis. We should understand our data. We should know that we have 2 types of data when it comes to data analysis. We have the categorical data and the quantitative data. And then for the categorical data, there's always a quantitative part of it. There's always a quantitative part of it. Like maybe you want to like see the top 10 customers, or maybe you want to count your employees to know the total employees you have in a particular organization that you are working for. That is the categorical part of it. That is why it said everything but the numbers. Everything but the numbers. So for every categorical data, always put it at the back of your mind that there's also a quantitative part of it. So I don't know if I'm too fast or I still need to repeat myself.
You are not too fast. It's okay.
Okay. So
Hello. Victoria.
yes, I'm with you, please.
Yeah, I'm quite experiencing a disturbing understanding of everything but the numbers. Because earlier on, I was saying that ID, which is number, like for example, 0120, and of course it cannot be aggregated. But why then the explanation of it cannot be everything but a number? Because it then cancels out that explanation that you made earlier.
Okay, like I said, I also say that there's also a quantitative part of it. Okay, you have your employee ID, or let's just use our matric numbers while we're in school. Your matric number will be different from my own. Maybe we are bearing the same name. Maybe you are Chisom, I'm also Chisom, the same surname. And then our matric numbers will be different. And so in your department, then I said they want to know the total numbers of students that they have in that particular department. we have two Chisom. You cannot say Chisom, you cannot say Chisom that is you and me that is Chisom, we are one. You understand? So
Yeah.
from that our matric number, that is how it's only our matric number that they can use to count us. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's only our matric number that they can use to count us to get the total numbers of students in that particular department. You will not say that, let me just say there are 10. You will not say there are 10 students in this particular department. That means you have a quantitative part of that categorical data, which is that number that you have gotten after counting the students in that particular department.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
Mm.
All right, thanks.
So importance of data visualization. Importance of data visualization. It should be interactive. Like any data that you are working with or any presentation that you want to give should be interactive. It should not be like boring something that, because the data set is already boring for them to start looking for a particular information that they want to get from it. So visualization should be interactive. That is one of the importance of it. It should be interactive. It should be personalized. It should be easy to share. When you are working with your data, you should know the type of data that you are working with, like I said. The way that you are going to analyze a HRO data will be different from the way you analyze a sales data. So when you are doing the visualization for HRO data, it will be quite different from when we're doing the analysis on maybe sales data or the finance data, stuff like that. So it should be personalized to that particular data set that you are working with. You should not bring the principles that maybe you want to use to work on a sales data to HRO data. It won't work that way, because by the end of the day, you end up getting the wrong analysis. So it should be personalized and it should be easy to share. It should be easy to share. When you are sharing it with people, your audience should be able to read it. They should be able to understand that this is what this particular data is talking about. Not that if you just share it, everybody will now start looking at it and they will not be wondering that what is happening in this data. It shouldn't be like that. If a particular data set that you are working with, you cannot find a particular information that you want to get from that particular data, once you visualize it, it should be interactive. Like when I see it, I'll be like, wow, this visualization is looking good. It's not like we start decorating it, that you want to decorate it. No, it's not supposed to be like that. And it should be intuitive. So that is just the importance of data visualization. The importance of data visualization. So we'll get to know more and we'll get to understand effective data visualization, so that when you are visualizing your data, you will know what to do and what not to do. Any data that you are visualizing, it should be very, very easy to share. When I want to present that particular data to my stakeholders, when I want to present it to my audience, it should be very, very easy based on how I have done the data visualization. But if I don't do it very well, it will be very hard for someone to comprehend whatsoever I am passing across to them. So that is just the main importance of data visualization. Then, why is data visualization important? Why is it important? Why is it that you will not just take your data and say, I already have this data? Or is there any need of doing visualization? Why is it important? It is important because effective data visualization helps an audience to analyze. It helps an audience to analyze. For example, you are working on a sales data, and then your audience wants to see like the top 10 customers from that particular region. You don't need to even stand up and start telling them that look at the top. You don't even need to start telling that this is at the top 10 customers. Based on how you do your visualization, they should be able to look at it and analyze that, oh, so and so person is among the top 10 customers, so that normally comes to this our organization or to this our boutique or this our supermarket to get something. And again, it should also help your audience to understand. it should help them to understand, and they'll be able to draw conclusions through the summarization of your data. Like I said, you can have a large data set. What is the importance of data analysis if you cannot give a good visualization? You are helping them so that everything will be so easy for them to understand and they can draw conclusions. For example, maybe a company has like over 10,000 in data, and you know that they cannot start scrolling down to start checking from the sales that they've made from January to December. It will be very, very hard. But when they give you such data for you to analyze it for that particular company, at the end of the day, your audience and your stakeholder that you are presenting that particular data to, that particular visualizations to, should be able to analyze, understand, and draw conclusions that can help them in their business through the summarization of your data. Because all the data sets that have been given to you, that is what you are going to use to work. They are going to use it to visualize, for them to just see the visualization. And when they see it, they will be able to draw conclusions. Not that when they see that particular data, they will not start straining their eyes, or they will not be wondering that, what is this person doing? I don't understand. They have their data, and because of, they cannot just start going through it one by one like that, it will be like a boring something to them. It will be like, it is even work for you to start scrolling through 10,000 rows of data like that. You won't get tired. So for your data visualization to be effective, these three key words that I highlighted, that is, it should help your audience for them to be able to analyze it, for them to be able to understand, and then for them to be able to draw conclusions through the summarization of the data that they've given to you. That is why data visualization is very, very important in any organization. Even I can even use it for my monthly expense. Maybe I might have my monthly expense, what I used to use my money for, my transportation, my feeding, like that. And I'll be like, let me just visualize it to know how I'm spending my money. By the way, by when you looking at the visualization, you even like it more than when you start scrolling down to check all your expenses for the month or for the year. So data visualization is very, very important in any organization, in even any society you find yourself. It is very, very important. So do we understand?
Yes.
Then effective chat. Effective chat, sorry, it's called tights in Power BI. You cannot go out and go and start saying chat if you are talking about Power BI. Effective chat. What does it mean when somebody said effective chat or effective visualization? Number one, they say less is more chat should convey one message to the audience. You have this particular type, this particular visual that you are seeing here, and you can tell that we're talking about salary here. And me, you looking at it, you can tell that I'm trying to like analyze to know how the salary payment is being done in that particular organization. If you look at it very well, you can tell from this presentation, from this visual, that Osas Nancy earns more than everybody in this particular organization. Not that after trying to like analyze for like the employee names and the salary that they earn, you now go and bring another thing and come and add to it again. It will make the whole thing to look rough and is not passing a particular message to your audience. So anything, when you are working, say less more. Less is more. Chat should convey one message to your audience. Just one message to your audience. You should be able to tell that you are talking about the 10 top customers in this particular chat, in this particular visualization. That is it. You should not add anything to it again. Then you said you should use titles and labels so the audience understands the message. You should use titles and message. Like this particular tiles that I shared, this particular, if it's not like I'm just trying to explain something. If I send this particular stuff to you, you cannot understand what this particular tiles is talking about. You cannot understand what it's talking about because you're supposed to give it a title at the top of it. There's supposed to be a title telling you that maybe you are checking for the 10 top employees with the highest salary, or you now say that employees and their salaries, depending on how you want to name it for your audience to be able to understand. So any visualization or any tiles or any presentation you want to do, you should always give it a title so that your audience will understand the message. If you are working with, let me just say, the top 10 countries with the highest sales, or the top 10 regions with, or the top 4 regions with the highest sales, you should write the titles so that your audience will be able to like understand what you are passing across to them. You should not just send them, you should not just present, you should not just visualize like that just for visualization sake. No, you should give them the titles and the labels so that the audience will understand the message. Then you can also use call out to highlight key message and direct audience to findings. Like you are working with, maybe just say, let me just say you're working with the top 10 customers, and as you're working with the top 10 customers, you want to like use a call out value, a call out, you want to use call out. You can click on this particular Philip, or you can click on this particular Osas Nelson, sorry, and like give it a call out, maybe a similar color that you are using, like a similar color that you are using. Maybe you have all these colors as blue, and maybe you want to give this particular color the same, should I say, the same, it should be like the same color, not like a different color, but maybe something that is close to this blue. You want to give it that particular call out value and call out numbers for it, color, for it to be different from the other employees, so that when somebody look at it, they'll be able to tell that Osas Nelson earns the highest salary. Or maybe you want to start with the least person, you can just use this Mary Michael. You will just look for a color that is close, maybe the same shade of color that is close to this blue, to give it like a color, color, so that you that is looking for the least employee, like the employee that is earning the least amount in that particular company, then you can give it this particular, you can give it a color that is close to this particular color. We call it the call out value, so that anybody looking at it can be able to tell that this particular visuals, this is what it's talking about. Or maybe you want to represent the loss of something. You want to represent the loss of something. You can use, you know, if you want to represent something, that a loss of something, you know the colors to use. You use red. And maybe when you want to like present something that has to do, should I say, with growth or good something, you will use green, because you know that if you use red, it's already passing the message across to your audience that so and so something happened here. Maybe you are working on, let me just say you are working on that COVID-19 data set, and then the numbers of loss that they experienced during that period. If you want to like visualize it and give it like a call out to highlight the key message that you're trying to pass to your audience, because there are some people that are colorblind and they don't know, you can just put that red. Once they see the red, they'll know that something has happened there, because we all know that red represents dangers. Then we should use color intentionally and not for decorative purpose. Like when working with your visualization, you should, any color that you want to use, you should use it intentionally, not be like for decorative purpose. If you go and use it for decorative purpose, at the end of the day, what you might be doing will not look nice at all. So for me, I will always advise that if you are trying to visualize, or you want to like visualize or do any visualization, you shouldn't use more than 3 colors, and the colors should be closely related to each other. They should be related to each other. I'll send us like is it like, I don't know, I'll send us a novel, is a book as regards that, when you want to choose colors, the particular theme that you can use like that. So you should use colors intentionally. There are some persons that maybe if they want to present a particular something on this particular you might see maybe they'll use blue here, they'll use green here, they'll just use different colors, and by the end of the day, looking at the visualization, it will just look so difficult for you to comprehend what that particular message and that particular visual is trying to pass to the audience. So we should use colors intentionally, emphasis on intentionally, and not for decorative purposes. There's some persons that I remember that I was trying to work with somebody on one report, and the person was like, use this particular color. I was not like, this is not like wedding that you say use onions purple, use this particular color. They are working with data analysis, they are trying to visualize. So we just have to be intentional about colors. They are not trying to decorate anything, rather you are trying to pass an information to your audience for them to be able to understand the particular thing that you are doing. Then you should understand the constraints of your medium. How will the chart be presented? Will it be printed black or white? Like if you want to present this particular visualization to your stakeholders, how will it be presented? Is it going to be presented? Is it going to be printed black or white? Because maybe if you are using black or white, like print that particular report, it will come out black and white, and all the colors that you have used will just be as though you did not use anything. Are you trying to present it through a projector? The colors that you are using, are they projector friendly? So these are all the things that you need to like put in place. You need to like think, you need to put in check before doing your visualization. You shouldn't just do it to suit you, because at this point you are not doing it to suit you. You are doing it because you are trying to pass a message across to your audience. So you should understand the constraints of your medium. How are you going to present that particular chart? Are you going to print it? Is it that you are going to share it? Is it that you are going to share a link to that particular chart or to that particular visualization that you've done? Are you going to share it via link for them to be able to like view it on their own? Are you going to share it to the cloud for all of you to come together and view it? So you should understand the constraint of your medium when you are working with data visualization for you to be able to have effective charts. So please, if you don't understand anything, if I'm too fast, you can just tell me, so I will go back and explain. Please, can you all hear me?
Yes, you can hear you. I can
Yes,
hear.
Okay,
you
please,
can
am I too
proceed.
fast?
No.
Do you understand? Mr. John, welcome.
Yes.
Happy Sunday. Hello, Mr. John, are you with us? So, should I continue?
Yes.
So, based on what we've said about effective charts, and Yano, please, can you criticize this particular chart?
I think the person just designed the chart for decorative purpose.
Okay.
Unrelated colors.
So, number one, the colors, and number two, what again?
The color and the label. Let me see. I think the label is wrong.
For me, I think is only the colors, because if your data labels are on, sorry, this used to confuse me. Vertical, this is this is the y-axis, right? This is the x-axis, and horizontal is the y-axis.
Horizontal is the x-axis, vertical is the y-axis.
Okay, so your x-axis, like if you are working on this type of visuals, like you want to use it for a presentation, the only thing I will criticize here, if I am to review this particular project, is the colors. For the data labels, is very much okay, because one, your x-axis, the person has already turned off his x-axis, so the x-axis is not on. And so if your x-axis is on, like if you have, let me show you example now on my Excel. So I want to show you something. Mhm. Okay, this particular data doesn't have this thing I want to show you. Like this is your this is your y-axis, and this is your x-axis, and then you are trying to like do a visualization, and then you have your x-axis. If you turn off your x-axis and you turn on your data labels, it's perfectly okay. You understand? But if your x-axis is on, like if you have your x-axis, let me just say you have your x-axis, let me just say you have 0 here, you have 30,500, you have all these things here, you can turn off the data label. So either of these things should be on. If this one is on, this one should be off. Your x-axis should be off. But if your x-axis is on, then your data label should be off, because it will still show the same thing. But situation whereby you turn on your x-axis and your y-axis, it will make the whole work to look so dirty, and it will not look pleasing to the eyes. It will not be like what you really want. It will not give what you want it to give. So let's just also note it that if your x-axis is on, you can use your data, you can turn on your data labels. But when you turn off your data labels, you can turn on your x-axis. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So your x-axis and your data label should not be on at the same time. You use either of them. You don't use both at the same time. So for me, from that particular data set, from this particular visualization, I can tell that this person, this Osasnas, this particular visualization is only the colors that is not looking appealing to the eyes. It's not looking appealing to the eyes. When you see stuff like this, working with it, if you have like different colors, it will make the work to look somehow, and it will not be neat. It will not pass the message that is supposed to pass to your audience. But if it is like this, all colors are the same, it will be very okay. It will be perfect. To look very perfect. So then we have different types of charts for different different analysis. Like if you want to like analyze using pie chart or your donut chart, you should have a particular reason why you are using that particular chart.
Mic check, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, John is fine.
Yes.
How are you doing, John? Hello, John. How are you doing? Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Can see your beautiful
Hello?
face.
Am I audible?
Yes, we are audible.
All right, okay. So I'll be loading the HR data set with you, and then we'll be continuing from where Victoria stopped. She already explained that she had like light issues since yesterday, so I was already on standby to help her with that. So we'll just continue with the session. So I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen? This is not what you should be saying though. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Just give me a minute. I'm loading a fresh. I'm actually working on a monthly report. Should I close? Let me save this one and close. So that- Save and close. Hold on. Okay. So I'm loading in the HR data. Are you sure this my Power BI is behaving well? All right. Okay, so we are moving on, transforming, and then we would go into the data visualization. But there are different type of data visualization. We have the bar chart, the pie chart. I don't know, can anyone give me another example?
Donut chart.
Donut chart, yes, another example.
Line chart.
Line chart, yes, another one. Okay, so this is the HR data set that Victoria has been
Star column
working with.
chart.
Yeah, we have the stack column chart. Beautiful. It's good that you even know the name though. You see some 100% stack and all of that. We have histogram. We have the card visuals. We have the tree map. We have the funnel charts. Right. I think that for all of them, let me go back to Power BI. Right. So when you come to this side, you find all of them here, right? And all of them can be used interchangeably. There are some exceptions though, and I'll walk us through those exceptions. I know Victoria was talking about categorical chart, right? That's chart that I use for category. So if I have maybe a category that doesn't exceed 4, right? That doesn't exceed 4 items. And by 4 items, let me give you an example. Maybe we have a company and then they have only 4 departments, right? I can represent that information with a pie chart. The pie chart, donut chart, you have to be very careful when playing with them, right? Because you do not want them to look clumsy, right? They are likely to get clumsy quickly. So let's go to the browser and let's look at clumsy pie chart so that we will see. These are not even clumsy. These are clear. Thank you. I love this. I love how Google will give you what you want. Imagine you have a pie chart like this. Please, can you differentiate what from what for me? Let me try to open it up. This particular, can you differentiate like what is what representing, right? Or you have something like this. Who can show me Alabama in this chart? Do you want me to expand my screen so that you see it? Can you see it better? No, this one. Who can show me
Yes.
Alabama here? Or Alaska? Or Arizona? Or California?
It is really clumsy.
Yeah, we expect all of this that look like rainbow. You can't, there's no sense. Like you can't make any sense out of a pie chart looking like this or a pie chart looking like this, right? So you have to be careful with your pie chart and donut chart that they do not look clumsy. I think this one is more clumsier. What? If somebody should do pie chart, like I just see that, I don't even know. I won't just have words for the person, right? So you have to be careful, especially, for some, hey, even this is clumsy. It's too, they are overlapping themselves already. So anything that is beyond 4 category, I don't think you want to consider a pie chart. I don't think you want to consider a pie chart. If you look at something like this one is more than 4 categories. Look at where JP Morgan, look at where American Express is. It's not giving that fresh kind of look, right? But if you have a pie chart like this, you see, straight to the point, concise. If you have another one like this, it's easier to know what is what is representing what, or something like this. It's easier for you to see what is representing what. So you have to be careful that your pie chart is not clumsy, or your donut chart is also not clumsy, right? For things that have different, like lot of categories you want to represent, you can consider the bar chart. So we have the stack bar chart, we have the stack column chart, we have the clustered bar chart, we have the clustered column chart, we have the 100% stack, right? So depending on what you want to do or what you want to represent, you can just split all of these charts, right? Those ones are better for categories that exceed 4, right? So we need to be very careful with how we use our charts. When it comes to line charts and area charts, these charts are mostly used. Hope you are still with me on the call. Am I still on the call? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So when it comes to line and area chart, these charts are mostly used when you want to show some that to do with date, time, month, year. Do you understand? So it's easier for me to see what is the sales from January to December, right? Do you guys know x-axis, y-axis? I think we need to go back to let me open Google Doc. Let me open my Google Doc. So that we play around basic things that we do in secondary school, right? I'm sure we all have worked with graphs before at some point in secondary school. So it's very important for us to know some key elements so that when we are saying some things, you understand what we are talking about. So I'm looking for a line. Where can I get line? No, this is not what I want. Okay, hold on. Let me open Word. If I can't get it on Google Docs, I'll get it on Word. Okay. All right. So coming here now, let me get my shapes. Let me bring in a line. Right. We remember this when we
Yeah, no, when I check to rebook, it has gone so expensive. So what will happen
you
is
said
that I can stay like with you for maybe a couple of days and then still go back to the hotel.
what, Chisom? Hello, Chisom, you're saying something.
Sorry, please ignore me.
Okay. Right. So now we're talking about the chart, right? So we are going back to some elementary basics, right? Let's go. We did this when we were in secondary school, right? Having to work with graphs. And then where is the x-axis? Who can show me where the x-axis is? And where is the y-axis? Anybody? Can anyone identify the x-axis and the y-axis?
Horizontal X, vertical Y,
Thank you.
Y-axis.
Exactly. Horizontal X, vertical Y-axis, right? And then we know how all of these things play, right? So if I want to see maybe the sales that we've done from January to December, what will I put in my vertical axis? Where will I put my January, February, March, April, May? Is it in the y-axis or the x-axis? Anybody? Is it the y-axis or the x-axis? Because at the end of the day,
X-axis.
exactly. At the end of the day, we have to go back to some elementary. We have to go back to some elementary class, right? In order for us to get things done properly, right? So, and then the sales will be on the y-axis, yeah? So you have to know how that works in order for you to work first with line chart, area chart, you know, the line and star column chart properly, right? And then we have the waterfall, pie chart, the maps, the cart, the slicer, the table. The table and metrics is something that you might always use, right? For me, if I do a chart and I don't understand the way the chart is going or the way the chart is the things is displaying, I'll convert it to a table or a metrics table to see the values that are populated, right? And that can now give me insight into maybe where the problem is or why the data is looking like is not correct, right? So you always work with table and metrics table most of the time. Just keep that one, keep those ones handy. So based on the data that we currently have, right, I just want us to look at this data quickly, right? And each of us, right, you give me two metrics that we would like to see from this data so that we can practice writing our DAX, our data modeling, and then visualization. So I'm going to start with Iyanu. Iyanu, looking at the HR data, right? Give me two things, two metrics you want us to get out of this data. Two metrics that are important to you.
You mean calculated column from this data set?
No, by metrics, I'm saying that things you would like to see. So if you are the HOD of the HR department, right? Based on this data, what are the things that you like to see? What are the metrics that you like to see?
Employer name, the salary, the ID, and let's say positions.
No, you're not. Hold on, please. Hold on, Ian. Can you hear me, Yanu?
Yes, I
Hello?
can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes, so by metrics, I'm talking about, for example, maybe top 5 sales. Do you understand? Metrics, not, yes, everybody want to see the employee. You can see it already here. Do you understand? So what are some key metrics that you like to see from this data? For example, I can say I want to see all the employees that are born between 1960 to 2005, right? And I want to see employees that are also, from 2005 to 2024. Do you actually understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so do you want to go again? You can say, oh, I want to see how many employees are male, how many are female, how many are binary. So those are metrics. Do you feel me? You can come and say, oh, I want to see how many employees are from Africa, how many are from Europe. So do you want to try again, Yano? So I'll be going through.
Okay.
Is there any, somebody is dropping
Okay.
something, let me see. Okay, so do you want to try again? So just look
Yes,
through the
okay.
metrics and just give us 2 things
Okay.
that you like to see that are important to you.
Marital status.
Okay, so you like to see the marital status of the employee, yes, and what again?
Oh, his salary.
Okay, yes. So like you see, also see metrics based on salary. Please can you write that down so that we can, when we are working on it, we know what we are working on. So I have marital status and salary. Chisom,
Yeah,
Chisom,
I'm here.
are you on?
Just give me 2 minutes, please.
All right, okay, so let's go to John. John, what are the things you would like to see? There are lots of information at the bottom here. So what are the things you would like to see? Just 2.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, man.
Yeah, good afternoon, John.
Yeah, I would like to see the race description. That is since from the HR data, the is it the white or the black that dominates the complaint,
Yes,
something, and
yes.
also that there are term reasons. Are they self-employed, or yeah, are they still employed or another position, something like that? Are they still active in the
Mm-hmm.
organization? Yeah, something like that also.
Okay. Okay. Chisom, are you ready now? All right. Victoria, do you want to share 1 or 2 things you like to see?
No problem.
Who is saying
Yes.
no? Okay, so let's have that.
Okay. So I want to see for me, I've already prepared something. I have different pages for this particular report because it's going to be like a report. And then for my overview page, I want to see the total number of employees.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the total number of male.
Okay.
I want to see the total number of female.
Okay.
I want to see the total salary.
Okay.
I want to see the average salary.
Okay.
I want to see the total recruitment source.
Okay.
I want to see the employee count by age.
Okay.
And so we are going to perform an analysis, like to write a conditional formatting to see the active hire, the total active hire, the total bad hire, the total good hire,
Okay.
and then the employee count by position. I sent it to you now.
Okay.
So that would be for the overview page.
Let me check what you sent to me. Okay. All right. Okay, I've seen it. All right.
Okay. So I
Okay.
want.
All right. So let's kind of work with what everyone have shared, right? I don't know if Chisom will still join us, but based on
Yeah,
what
I'm here.
everyone has shared, okay. Do you want to give us the 2 things you like to see?
Total employee by group age.
By what?
By group, by age group.
Age group?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that age group here? Okay. Employee age group. What else? Nobody has talked about position. Right? Let's see the different positions that we have, right? And we will now have to talk about we are all in this together, so nobody is leaving anybody, right? But before we move on, let's check, is our data clean? Right? Are we good to go with this information? And I think one other thing I want to ask is, should we leave the name as HR data set, or do you think we should change it to something different, something more fancy? I'm waiting for feedback from everyone. Please, let's be quick. Should we leave it as HR data set, or should we make it something more fancy? Am I on the call?
Yes,
I'm fine with the HR data set.
the name is
What?
fine. But if you have something more suitable,
Or
I think
HR
it's
operations.
HR operations, another person. It's good to always rename your data set, right? You can't just take whatever they've given to you and just use like that. So it's good to be clear. So let's think outside the box, right? How else can we name this? We can call it, let's say, employee data, right?
that's fine.
We can call it employee data. So let me just close and load, right? So now we are working for an organization, and this is our data set. So somebody very quickly, what's the name of our company? What's the name of the company we are working with? These are things that we should be able to give me on the spot. If you have a company, you can use your
Shell.
company's name.
Shell.
We should use Shell. So let me bring Shell, right?
Yeah.
Shell employee, employee what? Performance metrics, or Shell employee key performance metrics. I didn't plan this, so it's just coming, right? So these are just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. They are not the main part of the whole thing, right? But it's good to always have them. Okay. All right. This is not bad. All right. Let's look for an icon. Shell icon. So let me pick this first one. Let's pick this colorful one so that we can work with this color. So let me copy image. If copy and paste doesn't work, I will have to save. Okay, so let me save image and let's bring it in. Save in my download as Shell. Then come to Power BI. What am I supposed to do here now? Insert, go to insert, then image. Bring in the Shell image I downloaded, and I have it here. Right? What do I want to do? Reduce the size. Reduce. Please, if you are reducing size, don't reduce size from bottom like this. is wrong, right? Please always reduce from the side. Yeah, let's take it in. Are they in the same? No, this is still big. So are they in the same line now? Okay. Okay. So now I have my shell. Do I want to put this in the middle? Okay. I think this is not bad. All right. Then let's come to our format, our background. Do we want to change the background color? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's still white. Let's change to gray. Let's see how this would go. Make it a bit transparent. Yeah, let's make it gray, but then it won't be that obvious that something has happened there, right? So now, let me also make this one too. Properties. Okay. Good. So let's turn this one on. Let's also, I'm setting background for all of them so that everything kind of blender. But this is a bit deeper than this, but it's okay. It's all right. Okay. So now let us move into the next thing that we'll be doing. Am I still on the call?
Sure.
All right. So now let's move on. Let's come here. Our data is already loaded here. Employee data, but we have two dates here. If we check here, right, you see that we have date of hire and then we have date of termination. Do you understand? And these two dates, and we also have date of birth. So that means that if I want to work with my date of birth, so if I put this date of birth for this particular row now, I'm coming. Let me just click on a particular row to explain it for you so that you understand why we need a date table. This particular row, the employee name is Beatrice, right? These are employee number, this is salary, this is a position, this is a state, this is a zip code, this is a date of birth, Thursday, right? February 1st, 1951. She's female, single, white, this date of hire, she's still working and all of that. But then you see this kind of table now, if I want to select people that their date of hire is September, right? She will come up because her date of hire is in September. If I want people that their date of birth is also in February, like the two dates will now start contradicting themselves. Do you actually understand? Because two dates are representing one person's information. So now, if I want to filter, people whose date of birth is February and date of hire is September, right? I will start getting, like, Power BI will start misbehaving. That's why when you have more than one date in a data, it's very important for you to have a date table. So what the date table will do is to ensure that the filtering is done well, right? The date table is saying that all the dates here are going to be configured to just one date. So it's not like when I need date of birth, I'm going to DOB date. When I need of hire, I'm going to that date. If I'm going to termination, I'm going for another date. No, everything, all the dates are going to be consolidated into one. So anything I need, just that date table will be able to filter them quickly and easily than me playing with 3 dates. And then the 3 of them will just, because it's from the same data, they will start throwing different kind of errors, right? I will not be able to do what we want to do properly. So it's very, very important. Once you have more than one date, if your table has only maybe one date, you can just, you don't even need a date table. You can just go on with it, right? And if it's only one table, like just one data table, and that table has only one date, you are good to go, you are fine. But as long as you have different 2 data tables and each of them have their own dates, or there's more than one date on a data table, it is very, very important for you to have a date table. And what the date table is saying, that all the dates in this data are going to be consolidated into one, right? So now, how do you create a date table? You come to your table tools, click on new table, right? We are creating a new table because our data has more than one date, and we want to consolidate all these dates together. So we'll call it date table is equals to, now there are different ways of doing your date table. I know I've mentioned it before. Is there any question? Please let me know if you have any question, anything. Please always call me back, right? Your data, let me check. Okay, all right. So there are different ways of making a date table. If you use calendar auto, I don't know if you saw that in your daily life. Your calendar auto, what calendar auto will give you is just dates from January to December, straight up, right? That is what it will give you. But if we look at the table, the dates we are working with, employee data, this employee data now, the date of birth, this is not 2024. This is going as far as 1951. This is like the earliest date here, 1951, right? And this date now is ended at 1992. If you come to date of hire, it's starting at 2006 and it's ending where? 2018. Date of termination, 2010 to 2018. So the last date we have here is 2018. So you see that we do not have 2019 data, right? So that means whatever we are doing, whatever date table we are doing should start from 1951 and then ends at 2018. Do you understand? So that way we've covered all the 3 dates in the data as one. So let's go back to our date table. So I will say calendar. My calendar will ask me for 2 dates, a start date and a end date. Well, I can either start imputing in myself. One by to say, okay, date start from 1951 January, and I can go and do all of that. Or I can just say, okay, give me the minimum date from my date of birth it's not called it, it's called DOB. From this employee data DOB. So I'm telling the calendar, I'm telling the DAX function now that now go to my employee data, the date of birth. Take the minimum date, they like the least date that you can find there. Take it, that's where you should start from, right? That is where you should start from. And then, let me close it. Where should you end? End at the employee data date of termination. So I'm saying that I've checked my dates, right? The minimum date from date of birth should be where my date is starting from. And then this date should end at the maximum date you can find in a date of termination. So that's covering from February 1951 to November 2018. So that way I'm not having dates that do not exist, right? And by that, sorry, let me remove this last this thing. And by that, what I'm saying is, let me go back so that we'll see what has happened here. So this data is starting from February, 1st of February 1951 and not January, because in my employee data, there is no information for January 1951 here. So it won't even populate that information at all. Whatever it sees in my data is what it uses, right? If this data now automatically updates in the future to include 2019 data, 2020, 2021, 2022, my date table too will also update, because I'm saying, look at this employee data and give me the maximum, the minimum and the max. Even if the employee DOB also changes, right, the formula will also go back and then look for, so now which one is the new minimum, right? And then check the data dimension and say which one is the new maximum. So that way I'm actually not having data that are not important to my data set, to the current data set I am working on. It's very, very important. I'm not just inserting dates anyhow, and then you will not have January blank. People now start, so why is January blank? You say there's no information for January. So if there is no information for January at all in what you are working for, or what you are working with, why do you have the data there? Why are you showing me blank? Right? Show me where something is starting from, right? So that is how I would configure my own date. So now I have my date, I can come back and let's do some other thing. From this date now, let's get our month, right? So I can say format what? My date table date, right? And then I'm saying give me just the way we do it in Excel using text. So we have February. Yes, we have it now, February. I can also come here and say add another colon. I can come here again and say add another colon. Let's have the year, right? Is equals to writing my DAX formula, year from where? My date table date. Close it. And then I have all my years, right? What else do you think we need to have here again? What else do you think we need to have here? Anybody? What else do you think we need in our date table? We have date, we have month, we have year. What else do we need?
Maybe weeks.
Yeah, we can have weeks.
Day.
Right? Yes, we can have day. So let's do weeks first. We can say week number. So what's the DAX formula for week number? Anybody? DAX formula for week number. I'm waiting for us. So not be only me go talk. All of us go do the work together. DAX formula for week number. We've not even gone to what we say we want to do. Please, let's be fast. DAX formula for week number. Week num. Right? So what's the date here? Hello? Hello?
Aye.
What's the
Aye.
date? Somebody should complete the formula.
That's date from date table.
Okay, date from date table. And what does the return type means?
Week.
What does the return what does the
Week.
return type means? No. So the return type is, in the calendar, there are two types of calendar. Some people believe that the week starts on Sunday, and other people believe that the week starts on Monday. So if to you the first day of the week is Sunday, you pick one. So if you are telling that, okay, your calendars are from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the 7th day is Saturday. If for you your week starts from Monday, so Monday is your week 1 and then Sunday is your week 7, you pick 2. So it depends on the calendar your company is using or your country. But for us, we mostly use Monday to Sunday. So Sunday is the last day of the week, right? So that's why I tell you in the return type. So you can learn about their different codes, right? You can just learn about it. Let me see if I over on it. It's two. So you can just learn about it different, but the basic one are the 1 and the 2s, right? There are also different kind of calendars, using different codes and the like. So you want to also know the difference in that so that you can know when to use what, so that it knows how to calculate the week. If your week is starting from Sunday and not Monday, a different way to calculate the week. And let's go. Let me do that. You see this one, it says February is what? Week 5. Week 5. Week 5. Week 5. Let me change from 2 to 1. Let's see what happens. Right? You know, before we had 4 week 5. Now we are having 3 week 5. And then this February is now on week 4. So you can see 1st of February 1951 is week 5. By 4th of February 1951 is week 6. In fact, to get this well, let us bring in the days of the week so we can know whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the like, so that we'll not confuse ourselves, right? So let's do days of the week. Somebody should help us with the formula. What's the formula for finding days of the week? What's the DAX for days of the week? Anybody? Anybody? Use Google now, Shu. Don't just sit in class if you don't know. So we're using format, date table date, and then we are changing it to what? DDDDD. The same way you use text in Excel. So now you can see it's Thursday, week 5, Thursday. You see that Sunday now is telling you week 6 because we are saying our week number, saying that our new week starts on Monday, which is 1. So Sunday now is telling you week 6. You see that Saturday, week 6, Sunday now, another week starts. If I change this from 1 to 2, it changes. So you need to know the week number, the kind of calendar your company is using is very, very important. Right? Now you can see that Monday is week 6 and not Sunday. Now it has changed. So you need to be very careful. And which other thing do we need to add aside days of the week, week number, year, month, and the date? Which other thing do we need to add here?
Maybe first day of the month.
I don't understand. First day of the month.
Yes.
Like, can you explain that?
I'm just saying as in the day that each month starts.
And is here already now?
Oh, okay.
Or what analysis do we want to use that to generate? We can actually leave it pending, you know. Maybe as we go on, when we need new things, maybe like quarter. I've not even added quarter to this, right? But then let's just leave it the way it is, right? So that we actually don't complicate things and have things that we do not need. It's very important. Whatever it is that you do not need, don't put it in your data. There's no need for it. Keep it out. Make it as simple as possible. Okay, so now there are some things we need to do here, right? These are dates. Look at this thing that says summarization. This also tells you how this columns to behave. If I click on this, I think we will need to have month number. Yeah, it's very important. Sorry. Let's have month number. And the reason why we need to have month number is because in order to align January, to have it in that order, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, we will need to sort our month by month number. Normally, right, if we put this in a chart, what it tries to do, it tries to sort it alphabetically. So it looks for A, it starts from April, right, and then moves to the next one. It will not arrange in terms of January, February, March for you. But sorting by month number would help you, right? What is this thing for month number? Away. Yeah, month. It should be month. Date table date. Exactly. So that it has sorted, right? So this my month now. You see, it's showing me as text, right? It's showing me as text. This my year. It's telling me that this information I have to sum it. But you know that I'm not summing my year. There's nothing that will make me sum year together. So you come here and change it to don't summarize. Because if you use it with sum, the way it will be behaving in the front end here, it will start adding 1951 plus 1951 plus 1951 plus. That's what it's going to be doing, right? So you need to be careful of what your data is saying. So this is text, is great, month, text. This is year, is a whole number, but you're not summarizing it. The week number too, you are not summarizing it. Days of the week is text, you are not summarizing. Month number, I am not summarizing my month number, right? So let me show you example of what I was talking about. If I bring in my table column and I drag in month, you see that it's sorting it April, August, December. This is how it's going to see it because it's seeing it alphabetically. It's not seeing it as it has to align in a particular way. It's seeing it alphabetically. You say April, August, December. So whatever you are doing, whatever analysis you try to do, this is the way to be operating. But you know, this is not the way you want your month to operate. So you have to order it properly. That's why you need a month number. So I'll come to my month here. I'll now tell Power BI that this is my month to sort it by. That's why you have the sort by colon. Sort it by what? Month number. So since month number is 2, it knows that okay, February comes before March, that is 3. So if I go back now, you see that it has started based on January, February, March, April, May, June. This is that it has actually sorted properly. So you need to know what is doing, right? So I think that's all I need for my date table now. So this is my date table. I know I said that the reason why we have a date table is to ensure that the date in our employee data conforms to our date table, right? So there's one other thing that I'm going to do here. I'm going to mark as date table, like tell Power BI, hey, this is a date table, right? This is my standard date. Every other date should conform, like it's like every other day should bow to this date, right? So I'm coming to say mark it as date table. I'll turn it on, right? A date. So it has checked that, okay, all the information here are dates and they are valid. Then I can save, right? Once I've done that, then I come here to now create a relationship. Now, who can tell me how many relationships will I create between my date table and my employee data? And what are the types of relationship that I'll create? Very quickly. How many relationships will I create? And what are the types of relationship I'll create? Hello, somebody.
Many to many relationship.
So why do you say many to many relationship?
Say for instance, different employees, they have different date of birth.
Yes. But that's not why it is many to many.
Okay.
First, how many date table are we trying to ensure that they work together with the date table? How many dates in the employee data? We said there are 3. We have date of hire, date of termination, right? And then date of birth. You see, in Power BI, if you do not get all of these rudiments right, and so Power BI, if our data analysis itself is way beyond pie chart, bar chart, all of those visualizations are just it's like 10% of the work. If the back end is not done properly, whatever you're showing in the front end are false information. All right. So you need to get it right here. Our employee data has 3 dates: date of hire, date of termination, date of birth. Right? In this, our employee data, 2 employees can have the same date of birth. right? Hi and Victoria can be born on the same day. In fact, the same time. Do you understand, right? Date of hire, Hi and Victoria can be hired on the same day. Date of termination, Hi and Victoria can be terminated on the same day. It's possible, right? But this is our date table. There is no duplicate here. Do you understand? You can't find 2 January 1st in our date table. It will only be 1. So whatever relationship, this one now, this date table is a dimension table. All the information here, they are unique. There's no duplicate. But in employee data, you will likely find duplicates here. So automatically, this is a one-to-many relationship. Means that in my date table, I cannot find a duplicate. That is 1. Employee data, I can find duplicate because it's possible for 10 employees to be hired the same day. It's possible for 10 employees to be terminated the same day. It's possible for 10 employees to have the same date of birth. So this my employee data, it is where the many is. While this my date table is only 1. Do you understand? So now we have 1, 2, many relationship. But beyond that one-to-many relationship that we've established now, some of them will be active. Some of them will be inactive. So let's start. Let's take the first date. We merge it to date of birth. So you're saying our date table date. So it's telling you one-to-many automatically. Save. Bah. This one is done. Date to date of birth is done. This is an active relationship. Now we are saying we have our date of termination. We have to also link it to our date table. So let's do it. I'm carrying it to say date of termination. That it say one-to-many. Save. Now what happens? One is a broken line. The other one is a straight line. What does the broken line means?
Inactive relationship.
Thank you. Inactive relationship. Now, how do you make an inactive relationship active?
To click on it.
Yes.
So when we click on it, did it make it active? No. Right? No. Let me go. Even if you come here and say make active, it will not answer it. It throw up error. Right? So
Okay,
the thing is,
the first thing is to unactivate the active one. So you deactivate it and later you go to the inactive one and you activate it.
we'll have problem if we work like that too. Hold on. Let's continue. Now we know we have 3 dates here, right? And then let's bring all 3. So that's the date of hire. Date of hire to date. Okay, one-to-many. Got it. Okay, so the thing is that because in the same table, right, we have 3 different dates. The first date, the first relationship we create will be automatically active. The other ones will be inactive. The fact that it is called inactive doesn't mean that they cannot be activated. In order for you to activate, like maybe so now the thing is that if I try to work with this date, with date of birth, automatically the filtering would work, it will work. If I try to use this date on date of termination, it will not work because it is a broken line, which is inactive. If I try to use this date on date of hire, it will not work because it is inactive. But the way to make it active is through your DAX, right? So when I'm writing my DAX model, I will tell there's something called user relationship. And user relationship is used to make an inactive relationship active. So in the back end, it is showing us inactive. But when you are writing your DAX will activate it. Do you know? Because I can't say every time I'll come here and then make this one inactive, then make this one. That means that whatever this one is connected to will no longer work once I make it inactive. right? So the only way to make it active is through your DAX. You see a formula called, let me go to my DAX. And I'll show you how it works. Let's call this text. Is equals to user. Can you see it? User relationship, right? So what this use relationship, so I say is that use relationship. What the use relationship is doing is you are checking for inactive relationship in your back end, and then it will just turn it active. You know, when we are, if you come to our properties here, to make something active or inactive, is just to click now, right? Just to click and unclick, right? So that user relationship now, what is doing is now holding the click inside. So automatically, once I want to use it, I'll just use that relationship between which table and which table. My date table date and my date of termination. Automatically, it turns it on for me. But it will not show at the back end here, but in the formula, it will turn it on. And then whatever filtering I'm trying to do with work. Do you actually understand?
Yes.
Do you actually
Yes.
understand the user relationship?
Yes, I get it now. Yeah.
Exactly. So let me just delete this. As we go on, we will use it. Do you understand? But this is how this will work. Yes.
Excuse me. So this one by the left, right? These are the categorical variables, right?
When you say categorical, no, we've not done anything categorical since we've all been working on data sets, data.
Okay, because as you are mapping these relationships from the earlier videos that I watched, right? This one the one for text will stay at the top, while the other one will stay underneath it. So
I
more
didn't get
like
that.
star like. So this one's the one for employee data will be at the top, and then the data table, that's the number part, will be below, and then we link it from there. Is it something different?
Oh, okay, yeah. No. Is this so? You're thinking about the star schema, right?
Yeah.
That's just a design. So we only have 2 tables here. Star schema would work when we have more than maybe like 4. So the way I will arrange it, my fact table will be in the middle, then my dimension table will be around it in form of a star.
Oh, okay, but it's still
So
the
that
same.
it's still the same. So I can just do like this and then say, okay, this is my fact table employee data, put it here, and then put this one like this. So when I have other ones, another one will stand here. I can relate it. Do you understand? It's just to the goal of star schema is just for you to see all your relationship quickly, easily, and in a very neat way. Do you actually understand when working with multiple tables?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yes, it's actually still the same. This is my dimension table. This is my fact table. But because there are only 2, that's why I'm just putting them side by side. Normally, I can put them down like this one on top. If I have another one, that one will be by this side, and that one will be, do you understand? I can just design it in the form of a star. But I'm only working with 2 data. That's why I'm leaving it this way. But we can still have it this way so that you see, right, what's going on here. All right. So here now, I'm done. I'm done with my data modeling. Right now, let's go to the front. And then, I showed you how to actually order January, February, March, April, May. Please do not forget that because you always have that this thing. So we have our Shell employee key performance matrix here. And then we are trying to say, first thing we're talking about is marital status. So let me go to my data and let employee data. So now we say, let me make this one normal, the short date. Everything is in the same format. Date of termination, short date. Okay. So now our marital status. Now we want to see how many people are married, divorced, married, separated, single, widowed. John, are you on the call?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you are the one that requested for this, right? So if I do something like where is it? What's the name of it? Let me search here. Marital description. If I do something like this, is it okay for you? Is this all you want to see?
No,
So what else do you want to see with this?
I can compare it to their salary.
Okay,
Like
let's take one at a time.
the
You want to
total,
see? Do you want to see marital status
like their
based
average
on?
salary, something like that. I'll write the DAX formula for that.
No, I'm actually not getting. Do you want to see people that are divorced, total salary of those that are divorced, married, total is actually is that what you want to see, or you want to see people that are divorced? How many of them? People that
Okay.
are married? How many? Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, express yourself in layman terms so that we know what you want to see.
Okay, I want to see those that are divorced, married, separated, something like that. Like the total
Alright.
number of.
Okay, now. So now we actually need to do a count, right? To get total number, what we are doing is count people that are married. Married 1, 2. You are not married. We'll not count you. You're not married. We want to be counting them, right? And the only way we can count distinctively without counting duplicates, who can show me what value here we can use for our count that is unique in a way that will not count duplicates? Who can show me?
ID number.
Thank you. The employee ID, right? So let's go. Let's write our DAX, new measures, and then we can say, let's call this total employee count. Then what formula are we writing?
Distinct counts.
Yeah, distinct count. Distinct count of what? Of the employee ID. Then we'll close the bracket, right? And we'll click enter. Let me put comma. But you see, this our formula,
Okay.
total employees. Yes, I'm with you.
Sorry to interrupt. So why use distinct count if the employee ID already has a distinctive value? Why
Two-factor
not?
authentication.
Okay.
Do you actually understand? We could have used count, but
Yeah.
distinct count is like just to be ensure. Do you understand? So now this total employee, can you see that it is saved in our date table, right? It's going to make things, it's going to be making this one. So that means if I'm looking for that formula now, I'm looking for inside employee table, right? The best way to do this thing is have a folder for all your calculation. So that when you are looking for your calculation, you are actually not scrolling through. Your table has a lot of information already. So it's painful to the eyes. So you just have another folder for all your calculations. So you're like, oh, all my calculations, this is where they are saved, and I can easily find them there. So you just come to this enter data, click on enter data, give it a name. You can call it, what name should we call this one now? Let's say all formula what?
Formula table.
Yeah, you can call it okay, let's say formula table or all formula table. Then you load it. Right? So now we have it. This is why I use all formula so that it can be on top, because you know A starts on top, so that it can be on top and not beneath. And if I do formula F, it will come after this employee table. So instead of, so I can stay on top. That's why I'm putting A. I use all. So now this is my total employee count. Now I'll change it, the home table now. This home table, I'll change it from date table to my all formula table. So you see that it has moved here, right? Then I click enter. So this column 1, I can now delete it, right? So this column 1, I'll just delete it. Delete column 1 from my all formula table. So now I have total employee in my, so if I'm looking for my formula now, I know where to find it. So now we are still working on what Arrow John gave us. So divorce, this thing, if I bring in my total employee, so I have here total employees that we have is 311. 30 are divorced, 125 are married, 12 are separated, 136 are single, widowed are 8. Arrow John, are you okay with the way this analysis is? Should we move on? Are you satisfied? Are you on the call?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Are you satisfied with the way it is? We can move on like this
Yes, for now.
and know that yes, we are actually done with your tax. But then there are other ways to do it, right? I just did Control C, Control V, right? We can change it to something like this. So that's why you can now play with your chart, right? So one thing I first do it, I first put this thing in table format. Then I can now play with different charts to see, oh, which one. So you see what I'm talking about with pie chart now. Just look at this, right? This is getting clumsy. I can play with this. This is called a tree map. I can play with this, right? And then look for a better this thing to showcase what Arrow John said. So instead of table, I can just leave it as this. So let me remove the table visuals and let's have it like this, right? Then we can reduce this. Remember, our company color is yellow and red, oh. So you have to be careful when you're working with organizational data to ensure that you are using their color, right? So we can say this one as employees by marital status. I'm giving it a title. I'm renaming the title. You can see that. Then I'm putting it in the center. I'm bolding it up. Yes. I don't need this total employee count. So now this is where our x-axis and y-axis comes to play again. Let me make this bold so that we see this. Right? If I want to remove this total employee count and this number here, where will I go? X-axis or Y-axis?
X-axis.
Are you sure?
X-axis.
You know, normally this is the way it should be. Based on graph. If you want to plot a graph. Hello? Are you guys with me?
Yes.
If you really want to plot a graph, you know I said the beginning one is January, February, March, and this is the way it should be normally when you're plotting a graph. And that's the column chart. But when you're using the bar chart has just changed the axis upside down in a way that x-axis is now where y-axis is, and then y-axis is where x-axis is. So you need to understand your axis properly so that you will not start looking for what is not. If I come to my y-axis, right, and then I look at this, okay, let me even bolden it up so I can see what is being boldened. Okay, yeah, my y-axis is being boldened. Okay, this right? So I can now come here and then turn off the title. Then this married deck would go away, right? That's for y-axis. Then I can come here to my x-axis. Once I turn up my title, these are employee count, goes away. If I want to remove all this is 0, 20, 40, 60, just turn off values in your x-axis. That goes away, right? Come to your y-axis. You can bolden it up so that we see all of these numbers. Check the color, make sure it's black. Then you can now what? Add something there. The data label, turn it on so that people can see the actual numbers, right? And then you can now look at positioning. See, this one now is positioned inside. These ones are outside because it's in automatic. So pick a particular positioning, whether you want it inside end, that's the figures inside the end of the bar chart, or outside, or the center, or inside base. Anyone that works for you is fine, right? But for me, for safety, I mostly use outside end so that my data will not have any issues. Then I can you find this on that data label. That data label, click on the drop down and then come to value. You see it position. That's where you do all the auto, inside end, outside end, and all of that. Then I can now come to values to, make it dark, bolding it up, or I want to increase the font a bit. You see it under values, under data label. If I want to change this now to our company color, let's come to our bars, more color. So there's something called the red, green, and blue, RGB colors, or the X values, right? So if I want to get the colors we are using, this yellow and this red, the exact color, sometimes it might just be a bit difficult getting it directly. So I go sometimes to PowerPoint, right? I go to PowerPoint and I'll show you what I do. I go to PowerPoint. Let me bring in that particular image. That's the logo that I downloaded. Okay. The logo I downloaded, this is it. Then I can just come here and then let me bring in two shape. I just want to get my colors right, because you have to know the exact code of the color. All right. So if I want to color this one red and color this one yellow, if I come here and I come to my shape fill, there's something called eyedropper. And what this eyedropper does is it helps you to pick the exact color to fill a shape. I'll show you. Once I click on eyedropper, I can just come and click on, this is the red. I see it here, right? Then I can now go to the settings of this red. Just click on more fill color. So it gives me the RGB. Red is 237, green is 28, blue is 36. So that means if I go to my Power BI or just click on this X, if I copy this X code, this gives me the color of the red that is in my logo. So I'll just come here and then change it. So it has changed to the color of the red in my logo, right? So you need to know this code and then save them. If I want to get the yellow, I can close this now. Get the yellow. I'll go here, shape fill, click on eyedropper, click on the yellow, right? Then go to my shape fill, click on more fill color, and then I'll get the X. The X value, that's the actual color code. So I can come here and then change it, right? To my yellow. So we can leave this as yellow and then put it beneath here. So that's employee status done. Now let us do by salary. Arrow John, when you're talking about by salary, what do you want to see by salary? Is it still based on marital status by salary, or what do you want to see by salary?
Probably their position.
Yeah, their positions by salary. So, like I said, let us be safe. Let's do a table, right? Where is position? Let's come to our employee data. We have position here, right? So let's drag it. Position, yes. And then we want to bring in, our salary is already in calculated mode already. So we can just use it like that. But in order for us to just, like I said, two factors to be very sure, let's create a DAX and call it salary, right? And all we are doing is sum of employee data salary. So click enter, make sure it's in all formula table, put comma. This one we can even go and then let's put a dollar sign, right? Let's put a dollar sign in front of it. Yeah. So if I come here and then drag salary here, you can see this one is neatly done. So I can just remove the other one that I've come here and then remove this sum of salary, and I'll keep my salary, right? So based on position, we have lots of positions here. Do you understand? There are a lot of positions here. Now, how do we represent this information in such a way that somebody who is the manager, which is Arrow John, can better understand this information? right? How do we represent this in a way that, do we have subgroup of positions to say maybe by department? Maybe that will make it a bit lesser. So let's go to our data, employee data, and let's see, do we have subgroup? We don't have, we have departments here. We have departments. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 departments. So we have departments here. And so let's now drag department inside this table. And let's see what happens. If I bring in department here. Okay, let me sort this one out. Department should come first, then position. Okay. If we have it like this, yes, it's cool, but then it can also get better. Let me change it to a metrics table, right? My metrics table has distorted everything now. So let me just remove everything. Since I want to use metrics table, on my role, right, I will add in my, let's see, department. Let me just search. Department comes first. Under that department, I can now put in my position. Okay, then I will now bring in my salary under my values. So now this is what my matrix table has done for me now, right? It has grouped them in such a way that if I click on this plus sign, I will see all the positions under admin. So I can hide it. Do you understand? If I click on executive office, I will see all the positions. Can you guys see this? This is different between a table visual and a, let me copy and paste. Change one to table. Let me change this to table. So let me put them side by side. The first one, table will just show you all of them. But matrix table, what matrix table will do is, matrix table will hide it for you. So if I click on admin office now, I will see all the rows under admin. So I can make it smaller or make it bigger. If I click on production, I'll see all the rows under productions. If I click on sales, I can see area sales manager, director of sales, instead of me going through all of this long list. If I click on ITIS, this one has the longest, so I can easily see it. Do you understand? But it has also, compressed it for me in a way that is nice. So I can decide to continue with my matrix table, just make it a bit smaller, and then put it at one end, right? And then I can redesign it. Maybe I want to add a title to it and call it salary. For example, let's say salary grade by department and position. Do we actually understand now, right? And then I can just play around, making it bold, centralizing, and then looking at the values, right? The text color is black. Yeah, I can decide to have an alternative color. No, let's go back home. So I'm not going. I'm gonna press spoil. Right, but let me try. See, let's see if we can bolden it up. Yeah, bolden up the values. And then let's see. Yeah, I think everything is fine. This is okay. This is okay. I think everything here is okay. So that I won't just do other things to it. But instead of me having this long table, I can have it in a way that is managed with my matrix table. There are you can do a lot of design. Look at the layout. You can decide you want to change the layout. To whichever way that works for you. Let's take it back to default. . . So you can always play around. Sorry, please. So I'm actually just playing around, with the grid, with our color. Yeah. So this is just me just playing around here. So let's see. Let me do specific column. Pick each column, salary, header, total, align to the center. Nothing much actually. Yeah. So I can now put this, you understand, and then delete this one. So we are done with the task that Arrow John has given to us. Can we see this now? I don't need this extra space. So let me just make it small. Okay. So you see the way it's showing now. All right. So let's go to the next slide. So someone talk about race distribution. I think that's Iyanu. Iyanu, when you say race distribution, what do you mean? Are you on the call?
I was not the one that mentioned this.
So who mentioned race distribution? Okay. So who mentioned term reason, employment status? Yeah, don't I mentioned race. So you mentioned race and term reason.
I mentioned marital status and salary. I guess, yeah.
Is this Iyanu or John?
Yeah, initially when we started.
Oh, what was it you that mentioned marital status and salary?
Yes, when you said we should look for the metrics.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was John. So let us work on race distribution now. Let's see how many of them are white, how many of them are black, how many of them are. So we can do this one very quickly. In fact, I can even just duplicate this one, right? This employee status, and then I'm only changing marital status to race because it's the same employee count, right? And then I can just come here and change the title instead of employee by marital status, employee by race. By race distribution, right? So once you get things right, it's very easy for you to duplicate other ones. Do you understand? But this thing is not ordered properly, so let me just work on the y-axis. Right, I guess we're on the y-axis, and then let's see maximum width. Let me just push it a bit. Right. Yeah, so that we can at least see white, black, or yeah. So that's that with employee rate distribution. Next one, we are going to term reasons, employee status. So let's go. Employees, we want to know those that are active and those that are not active. Thank God it has been done already. Employee status is telling you active, terminated for cause, voluntarily terminated. Right? So we can just control V. Do you understand? Just change this from marital status to what was it again, Seth? Employee status. So we can see active, voluntarily active, voluntarily terminated. Oh, I duplicated twice. Let me cancel. So actually see the way I'm actually, I'm just putting them, down to know, okay, I've done this. We'll now come to now, align them properly later. So now, after doing this, Victoria talked about total number of employees, right? We've done that already. So let us just get a card visual. Let's get this sweet card visuals. Let's total employees. Let's put it here. We have it as 311, right? And then let me get a picture. Let's get a picture of employees. Employee icon, right? So that it looks good. Let me use this male and female icon. Let me see. Can I get a better icon? Let me use this male and female. And let me save image. Let me call it employee icon so I don't start looking for it. And let's come back to Power BI. So here, I'm clicking on it. And then I can come to my images, right? Turn it on, browse, employee icon, open, and I have it here. I can now resize it. So I can make it I'm trying to make it bigger. 80. Okay, let me do 100 px. Okay. And then let's make this smaller. Let's see what happens. Let's still make it smaller. Okay. So I can still come here and then, I just want to get my formatting right so that once I want to just duplicate, I can just copy and paste it and and move on very quickly. So I can just total employees instead of employee count. Total employee in Shell. Right? So I've given it a title, centralize it, Then I can remove this one. This total employee count is called call out value. So just turn off the label. So that one will go away like that. I can look at the layout of the card. Do I want to put it as a table? No, I want it as a card. Right? Okay. Let me see. Okay, reducing this, making it bolder. Right? Let me put it in the center. I don't like it in the center. Yeah. Let it move a bit. Yeah. So this is my total employees in Shell. I can put it at the top like this. Right? So that has been done. The next point we're talking about is gender. So you want to see the gender. Total male, total female. You want to see total male and then, so if these are total employees, we want to see the total people that are male and then female. So what do we do here now? We can write a DAX formula for that, right? And that's where we'll now start using, let's call this one female. Or let's say total female employees. Right? We'll say is equals to calculate. So we are telling people calculate. We've already calculated total employee count. Where, right? Where gender. Is there no gender here? What there's no gender? What was the name that it is called? Sex. Where sex, once you click on sex, equals double quote female. So I'm telling Power BI that with Power BI, from this my total employee that you've counted for me now, right? Now go and check. Just give me the value of those that are female only, right? So let me close this. Make sure it's in all formula count. Put comma there, right? So I can now come in here. Let me just copy and paste. I've done it already, so I just have to just copy and remove total employee and then just put in the one that is total female employee, right? Now total female employee is showing blank. That means I've selected the wrong this thing. So let's go to employee data and let's see what is in sex. Oh, sex is not, it's just say M and F. So that's why it's showing blank. So let's go back to my formula. And then I say, oh, sorry, it's not female. It is just capital letter F. Yeah. Click enter. So from this 311, 196 are female. So I can just change the title and say total female employees in Shell. Right? And I can just change the image. So let's get a female employee icon. So I can get this one and then save it. So let me also do for male too, right? Let's call it female. So most of them are, if once you get one right, it's easier for you to just duplicate it. Let's get this one with eyes for the male. Save image as. Are you guys still with me? Are you guys still with me? Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm changing this picture. I'm only changing the picture now. So I'm just going down to images. Then I'm changing cancel this one. And then I'm adding the female, the one I tag as female. Okay, so I have my female here. Female employee in Shell. So for male, Control C, Control V. Right? Control C, Control V. Let's get my formula. I have this one for female already. Let me just copy it, go to my new measure, paste it, change female to male, total male employee, where the sex is, well, instead of F, to capital letter M, and I'm done. So I change the formula for this one from total employees to the total male employees, 135, and then change the title. Change the title to total male employees, and then I'm changing the image to the male icon, and I'm done. Right? So I can now, maybe want to do alignment later, but let's still leave it like this first. Right? So that's our total employees and then gender, right? Then we want to see total salary. Victoria talk about seeing total salary. For total salary, I can just duplicate this. So we have a calculator for salary already. So Control V, Control C. You understand? Just change this one from total employees, add data or formula, click on salary. You have your salary, and then change the title from total male employees to total salary in Shell. Right? And for salary, we might want to do maybe like a money icon. So let's look for icon that's doing money. Yeah. Do I want to use this one because of our color code? Okay, let's use this one that is yellow. Right? So that we do not go out of our color code. Money. Then I can come here, having done that, click on this, go to my images, cancel this one, add the money, this thing there. Yeah. And then I can change this one from, I want to see the total value. I just don't want to see 21M. All right. So I can come to the call out values, and then no. It's not the reference image. Okay, let me wrap text. I'm looking for something I'm yet to see. Right, but we can see here that everything is 21 million. Well, hold on. Let me use the other card visuals. Let me bring in 21 million. And then let me see. So this is a basic card visuals. Right, this one doesn't allow you to bring in images. If I go to call out value, auto display, I can see the 1,000. So let me go here. Auto. So if I go to the call out value, salary, yeah, thousands, no, none. So I can see the actual value. Exactly. Instead of 21K, I want to see the actual value that is there. Oh, good. Okay, so that's that with total salary. And then we talked about average salary. Now, to get the average salary, what are we looking at? Who can help me with the formula for average salary? Who can help me with the form? Are you guys tired already?
No.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so who can give me formula for average salary?
Average.
Yes, you want to do average salary. Average salary.
The formula is average.
So we'll just do average. Okay. Because so the thing with averages, average sometimes might be a bit skeptical, right? You might want to do, are you doing average based on department, average based on the year? Do you understand? Or just average divided into 2?
You take average, maximum, and minimum. Average of the maximum and minimum salary.
Yes. Do you understand? So let's do average. You said what, Chisom?
I think the average of a minimum and maximum.
Divided. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we have another one called rolling average. Okay, that's what I'm talking about here, rolling average. But when it comes to average, just clarify on what kind of average I'm expecting from you, right? So let's do this. I'm just going to duplicate this total salary, but change it from this to average. I'm not going to even remove the icon. It's going to be the same. So all formula. See, this is why it's very important to have a formula table so that you can see 6.0. So let me do this one properly. Average salary, then none. Okay. So instead of total salary in shell, I'll call it total average salary in shell. So I'm just putting everything down So we've done, now we are doing recruitment source. So see that I'm really just putting every time. We will now arrange everything properly. So let's do recruitment source. Let's go back to our data, employee data. So how many people did we get from LinkedIn? Indeed, all of this website, right? I can just duplicate this one. I don't have to Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. You understand? Just change my marital status to recruitment source. Right? So I can just see Indeed 87. So I can just, instead of employee by marital source, I can do employee by recruitment source. So that is done, right? Let me just keep it somewhere too. Then we have what? Employee count by age. Employee count by age. So this one is going to be a big step. So now we have to go to the date of birth and then get the age of each employee. Do you understand? Get the age of each employee based on today, right? So this one has to mean we have to go to a Power Query, right? And then we will now have to do some groupings before we can now do employee count by age. So let's do that very quickly. So let's go back to transform data. Right? So we have this our employee table, and then we are taking this date of birth now. And then we are saying that what we want to do is this date of birth minus, or let's say today's date minus the date of birth, right? Will give us the age, the current age, right? You don't have to be stressing your head too much when you are working. If you don't know, like right now, nothing is even popping on my head, so it's good. So let's just use ChatGPT, right? And I'll tell you how I sometimes prompt this thing to give me some answers. I just do it in Power Query. In Power Query, I want to do today's date minus employee DOB to get their actual age. Okay, so it's telling me add a new colon, go to add new colon, select custom colon, and then I should put this formula there, right? Convert to, okay, I want to convert it to whole number. I should do this. So let's just try this one first. So let's go to Power Query, right? Say go to add colons, then it say custom colon. That's add a custom colon. And then what do I call this one? I'll call this one employee age. That's the name, right? So it's telling me to write an M query. So let me do this. Instead of employee, no, what's the actual this that I have? Minus, it's called DOB, not employee DOB. So check duration, date or time, local. These are Power Query normal this thing. So let's do okay. It's showing error. And what's the error that is showing? I know where the error is likely to come from when it comes to dates. So let me copy the second one and let's go back. When it comes to date, you have to be careful. Let me just call it age. I'll change it later. Normal run DOB. Okay. Let's see what the error is. Oh, so now the left side is showing me date and time while I'm feeding it with date. See this 6:09 p.m. So I need to remove the time. Okay, so I know what to tell Power Query. Let me just copy the error so that you can see the expression error, and then it can correct the date and time formula it's giving me. So this is called mQuery, right? And it's okay if you don't know how to write mQuery. Convert the current data time to just dates by using, but this is not what we used. Okay, this is the corrected formula. Okay, let's go back. This is DOB. Okay, so now it has worked, right? It has worked. So what this is saying is just converting to whole number, taking the current date and time, right? That's why you have this date or time lookout now. So it's taking the current date of time, like date time right now, but then it has removed the time with this number dot round down location date, and then it's now minusing it from the date of birth, dividing by 365 to get the actual person's date. So if somebody's date of birth is let's see, 1983, let's do basic calculation. 2020, because sometimes computer can run you down. Let's do 2024 minus 1983. Are they 40? 41. Let's see. The month. Okay, let's see. 1975. Let me do another one. Minus 1975. 49. This is 49. So it's good. Are you guys with me? Are you guys still on the call? Are you tired?
Yes. No.
Are you tired? Don't worry. We'll actually round up now. We'll round up, right? So we've actually done this, right? We've gotten the age, the employee's age, right? The employee. So can we just do some groupings? The least age we have here is 32, all right? Can we just do some grouping to say, okay, if you are from 30 to 40, right? We'll call you, I don't know if some can help us. Maybe young employees. If you are from, do you understand, 41 to 50, so that we can know those that are due for retirement. Because why is somebody 73 years old in this company? Do you actually understand? So that we can do the employee count by age. Do you understand? So we're actually doing it some kind of groupings, right? But even if we don't want to do the groupings here, which we can do, we can use a conditional colon and then say age grouping. Let's say age group, right? And then we'll say if age equals let me close this first. Let me make this whole number. Yeah. So let's go. So we call this age grouping. So if age equals instead of equals, we can use greater than. Is it greater than now? If you are greater than or equals to 60, right?
Old.
We should call you due for retirement, right? We say due for retirement. Then if the age is greater or equals to, let's say, 41, right? Actively, or let's say active in service, right? Then if you are less than 41, then we can say if you are less than 41, we can call you young employee, right? Yeah, so let's just leave this three grouping now. So we can see young, so 40 young employee, 49 active in service, 36 young employee, right? So we are done. Let me make this one text, right? And let's just close and apply, right? We are rounding up soon. We're rounding up soon, right? So since we have that already, we've done that grouping. Let me just copy and paste this one. I don't want to Control C, Control V, remove the indeed, and then let's just have the age grouping. The age grouping is where, right? So we have total active in service, and let me just employee by age grouping. So we have those that are active in service, people that are due for retirement, and all of that. Which other one are we doing again? Active hire, bad hire, good hire, employee count by position. By position, you can find that in this our pay grade, right? Since we have the department and positions here, I think that one would cover it. So I think we've done majority of the key metrics, right? So let's just pull them together. Let's just start, making this thing look better. Right? Okay. Okay. I'll have to work on this. Okay. Okay. All right. So we can have this like this, and then say employee by status. Depending on how we want to put all of this. Which one is this active volunteering? Let's see. What's this one? Employment status. I'm putting that marital. Let me change this one. Is employment status, not marital status. By employment. Right. Okay. So we're just putting everything together now. All right, just putting everything together. All of the chat that we've been working on since. Then we can have here blah, blah. Let me still keep this one side. Recruitment source. Okay, employee by race. We can have age grouping. So how you also organize your data is also very, very important. Very, 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 very important. Mm. It's still not coming together. So this is about just putting everything together, basically. Mm-mm. Bending it like that wouldn't work. So storytelling skill is another skill that you have to develop, right? Knowing how to put your chart, everything together in a way that makes sense. So there are still like empty spaces here, which you might want to fill up. Well, this is not looking good. This is not looking good in a way, but we can manage it. It's manageable. Okay. Okay, so I guess the left side is a bit okay. Let me put this up here. Blah 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 blah. This is not looking nice. So, but don't do this. Don't do this in real life. But let us do it for the sake of today's class. But it's not good to expand your chart like this. Okay. So then this is what we've been able to do today in class. It's manageable, but this other ones that are here, yeah, you have to be careful how you expand so that you know it doesn't disfigure all that you've been working on. But so far so good. I guess we've been able to answer major questions with our chat. So you can call this. There's a whole lot that you can do with this particular data. Say a whole lot of information, insights. We've not even started what we didn't even do anything on the date of termination, date. I'm sure that next week we'll still continue, right? So this is like the overview page. We can now go into another page where we'll now talk about maybe hiring, right? So where we hired from, the date we hired from, maybe from Indeed, LinkedIn, Google, the people we hired there, and then from there we're not going to termination, like in another page, and then do analysis that will be focused around terminations, reason why people left the organization, which reasons are good, which reasons are not good. This is just like an overview, a high level overview of what the data entails, but there's a whole lot we can dig in just from. There's a whole lot we can do. If I can create a 5-page report just from, because we never talk about the performance. We don't talk about the performance of them. We don't talk about the managers, right? There's a whole lot that we've not talked about. The date of hire. That's why we've not used the use relationship, right? We've not talked about the date of terminations, reasons for termination, and all of that, right? There's a whole lot that we can do from here. We can even do how many people are terminated that are married, how many of them are female. There's a whole lot, but from a high level overview, this is what we've been able to come up, but there's a whole lot you can do, just with this data. So I'll share this report in the group. We can take our time, look at data, and then just start with what are some things that I would like to see? What are some metrics, that will make sense for me with this data? And then from there, you can keep on digging and trying to, so the best thing to do is just to write them down, like I've written them down in my notes. So these are the things I want to see, right? And then you can now start building the DAX, and then whatever will help you display what you have in mind to see. Yeah, so that's how data analytics runs. Thank you very much. Let me save this. I've not saved it all. Don't be like me, please always save. HR data. Yeah, for Power BI. So I'll save this on my desktop and I'll also share it to the group. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful. Is there any question before we go on? Any question? Any question?
On my side, no.
Okay. I guess we're like 30 minutes past time. How about John? Any question from you?
No
So,
question.
all right. So I'll just stop presenting. Since we have the data set already, right? We can I'll share this the PBIX on the group, so we can also download it, and then continue building from where I stopped. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. I hope Power BI is beginning